wanted to make a video about the individual that um, God has allowed me to walk with and lead him to Jesus, basically, like being saved. You know what I mean? I can see he's had a relationship with Jesus for a lot of his life. You know, he's been helped by Jesus, like I was before I got saved. But I feel like God's been preparing him to be saved. He is. He has been preparing him, and he's having me help him along the way before he makes the decision to be saved. I asked him, because he trusts Jesus. He does. He's like, has Jesus ever shown you that scripture? Has he led you to that scripture of like saying that you have to be reborn in order to see the kingdom of heaven? Has Jesus led you to that scripture yet? He's like, no. You know, I'm like, has he shown you how to do that yet? He's like, no. So I'm like, he may show you that scripture when you're ready. Eventually, that's what I was telling him. Like he did me. Eventually, he showed me that reborn scripture. But he was walking with me for a long time. Like he's walked with this guy. He grew up in an orphanage in India. You know what I mean? I told him I kind of know what it feels like to be an orphan. I did. So God looks after the orphans. He does, even if they have parents. It's legit. So God has
My kids.
God has pretty much brought two orphans basically together right now. You know what I mean? One orphan that got saved, and then him. I think he will be saved eventually. Yeah, and God's having me. He's the one that God's having me lead to being saved. So I feel the joy of Christ, basically. You know, the one person to lead to Jesus being saved. I mean, he knows Jesus, he does. But he hasn't done the reborn thing in order to see the kingdom of heaven. To get to the kingdom of heaven. He hasn't done that yet. And God prepares people for a while. Like he did me before doing that. Like I said, like I've been on the earth for decades and I haven't done the reborn thing. You know what I mean? It was a long time. So yeah, eventually Jesus will show him that scripture, you know, and how to be saved. Eventually, like that scripture was shown to me. So when he's ready. So, it seems like God's been prepping him, you know what I mean? So like I said, you wouldn't think someone from India would be a Christian, but he is. You know what I mean? He believes in Jesus, he does. So anyways, that's all I wanted to say. It was like, God's having me kind of walk next to him, you know, before he gets saved. He wants me to walk next to him, basically. So, lead him to be saved, you know, to accept Jesus. To accept Jesus in a different way, you know. Because he knows Jesus the kind of the way I used to know Jesus, you know what I mean. But it changes quite a bit after you're saved. Jesus becomes your all, you know, after you're saved. You know, like all the other worldly things get replaced by God's will, you know. It's legit. So it's a big jump. It's a big step. It's a big commitment to Jesus himself to be saved. It's a big commitment. It is. It's the commitment for the rest of your life, basically. Yeah. But it'll be worth it in the end. I think so. Anyways, that's all I want to say for this video. So, God's definitely allowing me to lead someone to Him. You know what I mean? In a different way. Being reborn in the Spirit. Because He knows that's what brings real joy. Is if I lead someone to being saved.